Death from Above, formerly known as Death from Above 1979. Why do bands keep changing their name? Why couldn't they have just kept it? I don't. Every band keeps changing their name. The OCs, now not the OCs. I don't know why. But they are a dance rock, indie rock band from Canada? Yes, Canada. Yes, I am correct with that. And they put out a really cool debut album like in 2005 or 2004, but they went on this really long hiatus, or they pretty much stopped making music for like 10 years and then came back a few years ago with The Physical World. That album was received positively. I never actually got a chance to hear it, but I loved their debut, You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. That is a great rock album. It's so dancey. They mixed elements of dance so well with that album. Very impressive, very visceral how they managed to create such a sound with only two members of the band. And this new album, Outrage Is Now, is just a solid rock album, I think. I don't have many complaints with this one, but the issue is that it kind of just flies by, and I'm into it when it's on, but I have no urge to go back to it, honestly. It's very well produced, it's very well made, there's a lot of great guitar playing on this album, and the vocalist sounds melodic as ever. But the foundation of this album is essentially just a rock album that, if you're really into rock music, you will love. But for me, I find that with this kind of music, I want something a bit more. I don't find it as quite as melodic as their earlier stuff, so I'm not really as like ready to rave when this comes on. I'm kind of just, yeah, solid rock track, and that's kind of how I feel with every song. What I will say though is if that you've like been a fan of Royal Blood for the past few years, then you need to check out Death from Above, because Royal Blood basically just took all the ideas that Death from Above had and formulated it into this radio commercial sound, whereas Death from Above have a bit more oomph to their music. The only thing this time around with Death from Above on this album is that for me, I feel like some of the guitars are tuned down, so the melodies are kind of like sunk and they're not really like there. The instrumentation sounds really thick and it just doesn't really make for much of an exciting sound, even though it is jam-packed with its sound. There's a lot going on, but I just wanted a bit more melody. Freeze Me though is a track where the vocalist sounds the most melodic, I think. Um, I do think this one is one of the more catchier songs, and the closing track is one of the lead singles, and that was a fairly catchy song too, but it's just a weird way to end the album. You'd think that they would have put this at the start or during the middle, so that was a bit of an odd choice, I think. But yeah, with this album, I guess there's not all that much to say. I mean, individually, these songs work well if you just want a jamming rock song, but as a whole, it kind of gets old as it goes along. Each song doesn't really demonstrate anything new, you know, from the previous song. It's very much more of the same. And I must say, though, if this was a live show, I'd probably be going crazy and jumping up and down like wild. But just listening to it on my headphones doesn't really get the full experience. So if Death from Above ever came to a venue near me, I would definitely go see them because they would put on a great show. But as an album, it's just a fine rock album. A fine album isn't an offensive thing, though. I can get behind this. And for two guys to make as much noise as they do, as much racket as they do, and still produce good music, then I'm pretty impressed. Do check this out if you're a rock music fan. I would say this is a C+. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Let me know what you think of this album. Tell me what I should review next, and have a good day. Yay, yay, yay.